Sunny TV Unfiltered. Welcome. You're with me tonight, so you're with the A team, not the B team you had yesterday. Thanks to Terry and the boys for being on. Great show yesterday. Got some really special guests with us today. We've got Colin in the bottom left. Got some really special guests with us today. We've got Colin in the bottom left. I've got advice on. Got some really special guests with us today. That's probably him. That's just fucked up my intro, never mind. Right, we'll start again. Got some really special guests today. One of them we just had to figure out. Corey, if you're listening, mate, join again. Because you can't leave your device on. It's like I'm getting feedback. We can't have that. We've got Kieran with us. Kieran is goalkeeper for ASTV FC, and is it the final on Sunday? DCC?
No. It's the following Sunday, the 12th.
12th. So the 12th is the final of Blood Brothers. That should be good. And go and watch the last show. It's funny. It's funny. We've got Simon with us. Hey, Simon, you all right?
Sonny, everybody, hello.
Great to have you back again. We've got Johnny with us. And we've got the unofficial pundit with us, a big Man U fan. Evan, you all right?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. You?
You recovered? Is that why you're lying down still?
mate, honestly, listen, I know it's going to be a flip-flop season for us. Funny thing is, you never thought we was going to beat Spurs or City, and we did. So, yeah, I don't know, mate, honestly. I think we've got to take anything we get this season. We've got a hard month coming up this month. I'm hoping we're going to buy someone. I actually feel like we will buy someone, but you never know with this board that we've got. So we'll see what happens.
A question for you all, right? Is it a new dawn at Arsenal, or is it the same pitch? You always have said that before for years. Bye.
What, am I answering this? Who's answering this? Who's going first? Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's a new dawn. Look, I'm excited because when Emery came in, after a few games, I didn't really see what style it was going on. After about 6 months, yeah, the 22 game unbeaten run was in that, but still at the time, I didn't feel any direction. I didn't see what style of football he was playing, and I wasn't convinced. By the end of the season, I didn't want the geezer in. Completely didn't want him in. And just from a few words that Arteta has said, and the first game, you could see the energy there, which is what you base level you ask for from a team. That I could see it's a good direction that we're going in.
Someone's clicking, so we've got technical issues today. You keep like yours, it might be your phone. Go out and come back in if it's you.
All right, no problem. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, it looks like it was him. Johnny, what do you make of the game the other night?
I thought it was brilliant. I thought, really, the main man you've got to thank is Arteta, because obviously the urgency was there, and I've never seen a manager come in and change it like that. If you look at the back-to-back games he had actually on the bench, you had Chelsea, who we played really well against, shouldn't have lost. And then we played Man United, obviously. I know they're not the Man United of old, but we absolutely dominated that game. We tore them another arsehole, in my opinion. So I think, it's definitely improvement. You can't say there is an improvement early doors. I know it is early doors, but you can see if you look at Torreira, he's Red Ken said the other day, he's ratting again. He don't leave the players alone. He's on them. He's doing what he done when he first arrived at the Emirates. He's got his confidence back. And if you
sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and I've been saying, I hate saying I told you so, but I've been saying David Luiz is our best centre back, the last 3 games under Arteta, he's been immense, and I think he's been absolutely brilliant.
What I will say about players like Torreira and players that you might have seen look exciting when they came in and sort of slowly dwindles out of them, that for me says that Emery was coaching them in a different way, a way he's trying to coach them out of what they were doing naturally. And I'm excited to see players like Ceballos, because we saw Ceballos in the Newcastle game do bits. Since then, he's been a shadow of a player. Now, what will Arteta do with him once he gets back from his injury? So I'm excited.
So I say that, I mean, from an Arsenal point of view, that's obviously the best game of the season so far. Obviously, the result's great, but the performance was as good as anything that we've seen this season. So you've got to be happy if you come away from that game with a 2-0 win against Man United. On the flip side of that, that's one game. So just got to keep a little bit grounded, I think, and say, let's see what happens in the next 2. Forget the Leeds game, but moving forward, like Palace away, potential dodgy games and stuff like that. Let's see if we can repeat that type of performance, and especially away from home, because we won't get as much possession and we won't get as much time as what we did the other night at the Emirates.
Yeah,
I don't think Arsenal as well, Simon. It's interesting what you say, but I actually think that's what Arteta is doing. He's not giving these teams time on the ball, and I
100%.
think what actually encourages me here is that he's had back-to-back Chelsea and Man United, both games we should have won. And then I actually think the weaker opposition, if we carry on ratting like we have been, we should be winning them games. I'm quite excited. I know it's early doors, as you rightly said.
Yeah.
But if Arsenal play like that against the weaker opposition, we should be getting the results again.
Well, then the other thing is the position we're in. There's nothing to lose now. We're not protected. We're not like the hunted being hunted, the hunted being hunted by other people. It's either go for it or we're going to finish like 8th or 9th, which is irrelevant. So you can afford to just go for every single game now. Just attack. If we lose, we lose. We're not going to go any further down than what we are now.
What I'll also add to that is a lot of people are saying it's only one game. But for me, it's not even about the Man United game, because you should have seen enough in the first game against Bournemouth. Like, he had him for 4 days. And then the Chelsea game. Yeah, we lost it in the end, but for 70 minutes, or for, let's say, for about 55, 60 minutes, we dominated. We were cruising that game. We just didn't take our chances to kill it off. And the thing that our problem, which could be the problem if we don't finish teams off in the first 50, 60 minutes, is our stamina. Because the stamina that we need for an Arteta team, it needs a pre-season. It needs a full pre-season to be able to hit the ground running and keep that stamina throughout the remainder of the season for 80 minutes of a game.
Just got something from Karen. I'm pretty surprised at Karen. I think most of you know I was not against Mikel coming in, but I was desperately worried about it. I wasn't, though, Karen, to be honest with you. I wanted him before Emery. But from his first interview, I was a little more excited. But now, long live Mikel. You know what? After his first interview, I was more than a little excited. I think the most important thing Arteta's done at the moment, his biggest, most important coaching session was the one-on-one he had with the players. Right? Any bit of man management, when you're a manager and you're managing people, first you want to see how people tick and what's in their head and what their thoughts are. He's won the players over, so that's more important than anything. Any coaching and tactics on the pitch. He's actually got in their heads, and they're all behind him now, and I think they're all bought into it now. Yeah,
I mean, people go to when you got time, go and check out my Insta. My Insta tags there, on my name. I've done like a little breakdown of his first training session where it shows him talking to the players, what he expects from the players. He said it in his interview, change of culture. And the culture change, I said it before, isn't just with the players. The culture changes with us fans as well. Because as fans, we've got a lot of fans that will, I don't know, when he said the culture change, it wasn't just talking about the players. He was talking about the whole club's culture change needs to change.
I thought you bought it, bro. I thought you went missing like United did the other night.
No. I didn't go missing, bro. We're still 5 positions ahead of you, like I said. Are you still talking talking about the Dawn.
I can't hear a word he's saying.
UP, just before you make your point, bruv, I just want to say to everyone in the comments, everyone on the podcast, they're all in my house now. So just show everyone some respect. Even though UP is a United fan, he's in our house now and is a guest. So we want a clean podcast, and then moderators as well. If there's any really abusive messages, it's not the channel I want. Just kick them off the channel. Go on, mate.
Cheers, pal. Yeah, all I wanted to say was about the Arteta thing, about the new Dawn and that. That all depends on you fans, because what you've seen and what you saw against Man United, 100%. Listen, you didn't beat us, and that's not trying to give you guys any disrespect or anything like that. But you didn't beat us because you was technically so much better. You beat us because you worked so much harder, which you as fans want to see. 100%. That's what I want to see. I'm gutted that we didn't work hard enough. But that only lasts a certain amount of time. We saw it when Ole first came in. Everyone worked harder. Everyone thought everyone's bought into the club, and Ole's got this philosophy, and he wants the players to the United DNA and all that. But eventually, when things go bad, a lot of these players, unfortunately, go missing.
Yeah,
Even some of the players you really like will go missing. And the problem is,
they go to their default. They go to their default, what they're comfortable with.
Yeah,
but what they're comfortable with, they weren't comfortable with under Emery because it wasn't working.
No, I totally agree with that. But if you look at it, I'm not saying Arteta's going to be a bad manager. I'm not saying he's going to be a good manager. We haven't seen nothing. But at the end of the day, when you look at that Arsenal team, just like when I look at the Man United team, other than the players you have a soft spot for, truthfully, which of those players would you say are truly world class? Would you say really should be playing for the Arsenal you guys want to see? The Arsenal 20 years ago.
None of them world class, in my opinion.
Aubameyang as a striker, yeah, fair enough. You might have a player or two that are gonna be, but when you look at it, same thing with Man United. I see our fans talking about, oh, bring blah blah from the youth team. He's done this. He scored 4 goals in 2 games.
That's baffles me.
That's not Man United and Arsenal. You could bring those players in when you had Vieira, Adams, Henry. Listen, you know all the names I'm going to reel off here, so no point let me mention it. You could bring a young player in because they would guide him the right way. Same with Man United. We could bring. Listen, we made Chris Eagles look good at certain times because the players on the pitch were so good, they could carry him, and the little things he had to do wasn't much, and he would look good. If you put Chris Eagles into this Man United team, oh my God, could you imagine?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. But did you feel when Ole came in and said all he's wanted to say, and he said his philosophy, do you feel you knew what the philosophy was? Do you know what the direction is now?
Yeah, but this is what I ask a lot of fans. None of them come back with anything. All they come back with is total abuse. What style of play does Conte play? What style? Because everyone keeps talking about this style of play. What is it? What style of play can you tell me Conte plays? I can tell you what Pep plays. His is all out attack, keep ball.
Yeah.
And all out attack. I can tell you Klopp's style of play. It's
high press energy.
High press energy, and we will score more goals than you because Liverpool do concede goals. They maybe haven't in the last 4 or 5 games, but they concede goals. They've been struggling to but they will score more goals than you. But any other manager, what's their style of play? What is their style of play? You don't really know.
No, we won't know. We won't know until maybe 5, 6, 7 more games. But I can see a style of play with regards to Arteta already. I can see a high pressing game, a high energy game. I can see fast pace.
One second. There's 6 people in this podcast. Yeah, you can't just have a conversation between 2 of you. Yeah, so let's let everyone else have their say as well. Yeah.
Go on, guys.
Corey, you with us, brother, or what?
Yeah, man. Can you hear me loud as can?
Yeah, we can now, mate. But what did you watch the game the other day?
Yeah, I did. It was best way to describe it. It came across as there was. I know, obviously, it's early days. It's only been 3 games, but I've noticed since each game we've actually improved more. We've actually seemed to be more aggressive. We seem to be more dedicated, more rejuvenated. Probably the best word to use. We come across as so much more revitalized. It was. I wouldn't say it was a breathtaking performance, but it's only been 3 games. So obviously, it's going to take some time to keep pushing on. But at the same time, I think we're definitely on a turning corner. Arteta could be our guy.
I want the old heads in the chat as well, Simon, Johnny, and Kieran, to educate unofficial pundit and tell him the difference between the bounce of a manager, which Ollie had, and a manager who's actually got a plan and has got a vision.
Simon, you're doing what 590 million Manchester United fans out of the 600 million did when Ole was winning games, doing exactly the same thing. You just beat the Man United team that Watford beat 2-0. And you think you're setting yourself up for a big downfall. And this is why we get called banter clubs. Let me tell you something. Arteta's not doing anything with the crop we have right now. Klopp took 4 years.
You've got to make your points, but you've got to make them shorter because everyone's got. So you made your point. Let Simon come back to you.
Go on.
It is a big difference, yeah. So Solskjaer's won everything possible playing for Man United. Left the club, say, 10 years ago, and he's had very limited managerial success. He went to Cardiff, can be deemed as being a failure there, and then he went and coached in Norway. So both of those jobs, he's not really been at the top level. Arteta spent 10 years playing in the Premier League. He then goes and sits next to arguably one of the top 3 managers in the world at the moment. Now, he picks up on day one all the good things that he's doing right, and he now has transferred that to where he is. So from only being in a job 3 weeks, who do you think is better prepared to take a big club forward? Someone that spent his entire career in the Premier League and spent 3 years next to Guardiola, or Solskjaer, who spent most of his time in the Premier League, but his managerial credentials, he's basically been out on his own with nobody else. That's the big difference I see at the moment.
UP, hold your fire a second. Hold your fire.
I want to ask you one
second. Bruv, 1 second. Wait, bruv. Keep your cock in your pants a minute. Hold your fire. I just want Johnny to come at you first, and then you can answer them both back. Go on. Go on, Johnny.
I'll be honest, mate, and that's no offense, you know my humour. I've had a fucking result tonight because I can't hear a word he's saying anyway.
You serious?
The Man United fan, I can hear a word he's saying. I just can't hear it.
But Johnny, leave the stream and come back in, then you'll be able to hear him.
I did that the last time that happened. It was in the corner, and the guy in the corner left to come back, and I could hear him.
No, but leave and come back because we can all hear. So it'll be from your end. But go on, UP.
All right, but my answer to that is, who's the best manager you've seen in the last 30 years in the Premier League? Truthfully.
Ferguson.
I would say Ferguson, I have to admit
I
that,
hate
yeah.
to say it with Fergie.
Fergie, yeah? Steve McLaren is the only thing I have to say back to that answer. Steve McLaren. Steve McLaren.
You can't. What one man? What one man?
You asked me a question. Who's got better managerial credential? Kieran got them right. Steve McLaren sat next to Sir Alex Ferguson, and the guy couldn't manage a brothel.
Well, first of all, Steve McLaren took Middlesbrough to one of the highest points they've been in the Premier League history. He also took Middlesbrough to a Europa League final, and it's the best they've ever been since that time. They peaked at that point. He also won the league with FC 20 in Holland, and they haven't done that since they've ever begun. So he's not that bad, and he was the England manager. So he's not half bad. I think probably being a bit overly harsh on Steve McLaren. But what I will say, oh, go on, Johnny.
No, I was going to say 1 second. The other thing as well, UP, right? Steve McLaren went to Holland, and within 10 minutes he was speaking Dutch. So
no, what I will say is about the difference. One notable difference in the lift that Ollie had compared to the lift that Arteta had. Ollie was an interim manager when he had that lift, so they had that lift because someone else come in new. Yeah, Arteta's got the job straight away. So you're not going. So if you're going to lift and then fucking drop off, you're out. Whereas Ollie, they didn't know whether he's going to be or not, and made the assumption that there could be probably Poch coming in or someone else coming in. I'll give a lift. So, and as soon as he got given the manager's job, down.
Before I come to Johnny, then Simon, right? I'm going to cut all you short, so I apologise about that. It's because there's so many people on the stream. I want to give everyone an equal opportunity. Yeah, so please bear with me. Yeah, just want to read out this super chat. If you want if you want your comments guaranteed to be read out, 'cause I do try and read all of them out anyway, but I do miss some. Jay and Patterson, thanks, Junior. Thanks for your super chat. How much better will we be if at all when our squad is fully fit? With a fix to buy us help? I don't think we'll buy this window, so that's why I'm asking. Johnny.
Yes, mate.
Put your Muller light down, your Muller cereal down, and give us the answer to this, mate.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Simon pretty much took all the words out of my mouth. What Simon said, I thought was absolutely spot on. Brilliant regarding Arteta and Solskjaer, where they've been. And that's no offence against any Man United fan, but unless you're a Man United fan, I think most people can see that there has been improvement under Arteta. It's early doors. Who's the better manager out of Solskjaer and Arteta? If I turn around and go Arteta straight away, I'm going to look a muppet. It's very, very early doors. But
We're not talking about the managers. We're not talking about the managers. If Sir Alex Ferguson took over this Man United team, with the way the league is right now, he's not winning the league. I'm just looking at the teams.
Coming back to Arsenal a minute, right? And then we'll get on to the actual game itself and what went wrong for United because tactically, Solskjaer showed how inept he was, right? He just got scored by a bloke who's Manchester's first Premier League game. You know,
we beat Chelsea 4-0 and 2-1. You just lost to them. I'm talking about my manager. You lost to Brighton, darling.
Listen, bub, don't.
I'm talking about my manager. Don't talk about my manager. Don't talk about my manager. He's 50. Your manager's really off the game.
But you're going to get your chance, right? So I'm going to mute. Every time you shout over everyone, I'm going to mute you. So you're going to get your chance. So bear with me, yeah? All right. I don't want this to be a banter shouting match. Let's have a proper football debate, yeah? And let me just make sure you're unmuted. I muted you. Right, okay. Right. Simon, based on this question, right? Are the fans overreacting, right? And when our fitness levels are back, because some of our fan base are pretty deluded. All of a sudden, David Luiz is the best centre back in the world, right? Ainsley Maitland-Niles is all of a sudden is a right back. Is the next best thing. Mesut Ozil is gonna run through walls. Where are we? Is it a balance? Obviously Arteta has implemented some tactics. I'm really impressed with him, and the players have brought into him. So why is the fan base allowing all these donkeys who down tools from Arsene Wenger to all of a sudden decide they want to be footballers again for Arsenal?
So when you say fan base, everyone's a fan, but as we all know, some people are more structured in the sort of comments that they make, and some people just go flying off the handle after one defeat and stuff like that. So it's every time you win, there's always a positive vibe through most people. Now, if you go away and lost 4-3 at City to a last-minute goal, and we played really well, you'd still have fans moaning and groaning and stuff like that all the time because we've lost. You've just got to stay in the here and now and take one game at a time. So let's forget Leeds, if we go to Palace in 2 weeks' time and win 2-0 or something, and they put in a great performance, it's another little tick in the box and we move on. It's just one little step at a time. I don't want people going too far ahead. What's gone in the past, you can't change. So Luiz, he's obviously not an idiot, Luiz. He's won the Premier League. He's been transferred for millions and millions of pounds over the time. If all of a sudden we've got a manager that can get the best out of him, then he buys into the project and he starts every game, end off. Same with every player. There's no preconceived ideas. But as I say, what's gone in the past, we just move on from that. Emery's gone. He's not coming back. We've got a new manager. Let's look forward and let's just take one game at a time and see where we end up.
Archie, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for your comment, buff. But to be honest with you, I run the channel, and basically everyone is also a guest, and everyone's allowed their own time on here, mate. So let me do my thing, yeah. You just carry on watching it. Cheers. Go on, UP.
All I'm saying is I'm not going to sit here and say who's the better manager. I'm not going to sit here and say who's the better team. All I'm saying to you guys is if you think you've turned a corner with the shit squad you have, just like Man United, I said we have a good squad. If you think you've turned a corner, you're setting yourself up for massive heartbreak. That's all I'm telling you. Because there's only so much running more than somebody else and doing this. There's only so much of this these players will do. it's a fact. The minute you lose a game or you lose a big game or Liverpool spank you 3-1 or something like that, Aubameyang's going to start thinking, should I have left in January? David Luiz is going to be a headless chicken again. Ceballos is going to be thinking, like, Madrid don't want me, but I don't want to stay at Arsenal. Ozil's going to start worrying about his image more. This is what's going to happen. I've seen it at Man United. The biggest problem with us is at the game against you guys, wasn't even conceding the first goal. If we score a goal, our young players, because there's no experience out there, our young players grow in confidence. If we don't score a goal, they drift and drift more and more in the game. We lost 1-0 to Bournemouth, lost 2-0 to Watford, and lost 2-0 to you guys. But the minute we score, we get back into a game. Or if we go ahead, we're very hard to break down. We're happy to just sit back. I know it's not all rosy. It's been a year. It's not going to be all rosy for you guys. You've already lost a game under him that you should have won, but no fault of his. Your players let you down. And the biggest problem at Arsenal, and this is why I love Ole, was a problem at Man United for a few years, is you don't have a British core. When I say that, people think, oh, he's xenophobe, he just wants English players. No, you need a British core. You have to. Our three best players this season so far have been Aaron Wan-Bissaka, British, Marcus Rashford, British, and Scott McTominay, British. Some of the other players, 1 minute they want to be, then the next minute they couldn't give a shit because they will get a contract somewhere else. That's a fact.
I wouldn't necessarily say you need a British core because we tried that and our British core either wasn't good enough or
because
they weren't good enough.
Because
But
you're buying the garbage, and now the good British.
no,
players,
but we weren't really buying the garbage because people like Aaron Ramsey at the time, Man United were after him. Jack Wilshere was regarded as one of the best youngsters in English football. Theo Walcott at the time, Chamberlain, they were all up and coming stars at Southampton. Do you know what I mean? So we weren't necessarily buying garbage, and yeah. So it's tough to say where it's early doors. No, I know there's people shouting out saying it's turned the corner, but for me, it's not about turning corners. For me, it's about the change. It's not even the things that he said about football. It's the things he said about the club, changing the culture, and the culture of the club needed to change. The mentality of the club.
Johnny, what was different about Arsenal's performance against United?
That again, mate.
Go on, what's that?
What's the difference?
Yeah. What do you you was at the game as well. Obviously, you probably watched it back about 50 times, like I have as well. What's Arsenal do differently that United didn't go with?
Well, I just think it's not just the United game; it was the Chelsea and the Bournemouth game as well. Each game, as the guy on the bottom right said, there's been a slight improvement. So he's had 2 games really, not 3, but he went in there on half time. But they're ratting. Basically, if you look at Torreira, when he first came to Arsenal, he was ratting. He was always on people, chasing people, and that's what he done against United, and he done it just as well against Chelsea. I felt sorry for Torreira and Luiz against Chelsea because they worked their socks off. And the thing is, they're ratting. They're always on. They're moving. They're running. They're helping one another. Their heads ain't going down. Mesut Ozil, when have you seen him run? I've seen him run for the last 2 or 3 games. I never see Mesut Ozil run, ever.
Shall I tell you the biggest thing I saw from that game that United couldn't live with? If you watch how United pressed UP, right? You watch how Arsenal pressed, right? Arsenal. The first thing Arsenal done was their defence actually took some responsibility and they pushed up to the halfway line, which Arsenal defence for ages, especially because David Luiz has got no pace. They've dropped back. They've left too much space between the defence and the midfield. And we've been too stretched, right? What Arsenal done, they nullified all your space from getting out, right? And United
we're playing Jesse fucking Lingard. Anyone can nullify him. My daughter's fucking 11 years old. You nullify that clown.
You was always Lingard off when he was doing the moonwalk at the end of the
Jesse Lingard. Wow.
Well, but you lot last season. I thought you were going to go.
You know what, Sonny? You've turned the corner. You fucking made it. Honestly, Lacazette's going to be the striker he's never been. He's going to get 20 plus goals in the Premier League. Pepe's now turned the corner. He's going to be the best player in the world. Listen. He's done something Sarr done against us. And David Luiz is going to be going to sit at the halfway line and fucking boss. Do you know what? You, man, have turned the corner. Torreira is going to be the best midfielder in the world. Unfortunately, it won't be at Arsenal.
Listen, Bub, if you want to shout, we have to move you again, Bub. Listen. I'm talking about football tactics to you, right? Why Arsenal beat United, yeah?
More.
Bub, when we're having a conversation, two people got to speak. It's not just one, yeah? Okay? That if you just want to have a one-way conversation, you have an argument with your missus, you don't let her get a word in edgeways. But let's have a conversation, yeah?
Oh, mate.
Right, listen, I'm trying to explain to you why United lost and Arsenal won, yeah? Okay? And learn something about football. Don't just throw Jesse Lingard up in the air. The reason you lost is because we trust you better, right? One second. We also created an extra man because Mesut Ozil then dropped back to receive the ball. Torreira dropped back to receive the ball. Granit Xhaka dropped back to receive the ball. You lot didn't know when he was coming or going. You wasn't good enough playing out from the press. That's why you lost. Dan James, the one who me and you went on the podcast the other day, at the start of the season, who basically you wanted to get his tattoo on your arse of him, right? Where was he? What did he do?
Still got more goals and assists than Pepe.
Yeah, but that's not hard considering Pepe sat on the bench for 90% of the season, isn't he? So
15 million.
If that's the bar, I
know which player I'd take. Yeah, I know which player I'd take. Yeah.
See,
I think it was more hungry as well. You can clearly tell they were absolutely ravenous against them.
What's that?
I said, I think another thing as well, UP, is that there was absolutely ravenous against United. I haven't seen an Arsenal team like that for quite some time.
Yeah, the minute you got the goal.
No, it's from the start.
When you saw the
whole game, I'm not getting carried away. Sorry, man. I'm not going to get carried away. Of course not. It's only been 3 games. Maybe not a turning point, obviously, as yet. But I will say this: there's definitely some chemistry there that's been picking up, and training is obviously going really well. And I am so psyched for the game against Palace because I just want us to go on again and again and again. Do I think we're going to get top 4? No, I don't. But I do think that next season we are going to kick on from where we are obviously starting now and take it from there.
Simon, caught a bit of sense of things, mate. Basically, in my opinion, I'm happy to put any amount of money that UP wants to put on, right? That Arsenal going to finish above United, and they've got a 4-point start as well, right? Because I think Arsenal got the tools, and I think United have. I think Solskjaer will probably get sacked within the next couple of months, probably. Anyway,
I reckon he gets sacked by the end of the season. Yeah.
They said he'd be gone by November, December. He's up for an award in December, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah. No, and I was shocked by that, but I don't see it.
How was you shocked? He lost one game in December.
No, he did. In fact, Man United's second in the form charts, and which is why I was shocked that they didn't put up more of a fight the other day, considering we're like 16th in the form charts. But the form charts don't really show much, really, does it?
Unfortunately, our most experienced player on that pitch, our oldest player other than David De Gea, and the most experienced player on that pitch was Jesse Lingard. That tells you everything you need to know. Your most experienced player on the pitch was probably your man of the match, David Luiz. 9 days out of 10 he's going to be a clown. 9 games out of 10, but 1 game he's going to turn up, and that's the game you need him to turn up.
But he's turned up in the last 3, to be fair.
You had more experience on the pitch, and that's what you needed. We got no experience on the pitch at all. Who is Jesse Lingard going to be able to turn around and say, "Listen, come on, boys, it's only 1 goal. We can get back into this." Never.
UP, did you actually watch the game? Did you watch the game?
Mate, I can't miss it, which you know.
But Johnny, tell him who was man of the match. It wasn't David Luiz. Tell him who was man of the match against United.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I actually thought Luiz was, but
David Luiz did get man of the match.
Against United,
no, but to be fair, no. Lucas Torreira, no, David Luiz did get man of the match, but Lucas Torreira was probably a close second.
Well, to be fair,
you watch the game, darling?
To be fair,
Lucas Torreira was man of the match. Lucas Torreira was man of the match.
He weren't.
Simon, who's man of the match against United?
It's David Luiz. Because Papa gave him the award. Then that interview afterwards.
I'm not asking who beat. I'm not asking who Sky Sports man of the match. I'm talking about who was man of the match. You're not even having an attack, mate. I don't know if David Lewis was man of the match. Go on, Si. Who's man of the match in that game?
But, yeah, I take Torreira as the man of the match. I think he was busy all through. Looked like he was coming off 10, 15 minutes from the end, but he carried on. And he was a constant thorn in United's midfield. In fact, if you look at the three in midfield for United, you have Matic, Lingard and Fred. Yeah. And they just got totally, utterly dominated in the first hour. They weren't even in the game. As soon as they got the ball, they were swarmed out of it. So I look at, we've just been talking about the bigger picture. I look at United. They went out and spent £80 million on a centre half in the summer, Harry Maguire. Is he really that good? I didn't think he was. Yeah, he got turned a couple of times by Lacazette in the first half. I refer to him as an oil tanker. Yeah, he takes that long to actually slow down and reposition himself. So that's what I think he's like. I think there's so many substandard average players in the United side. If you look at the season, we played United twice in the league, taken 4 points off them this season. Yeah. Now, how many realistic United fans think they're going to finish in the top four? I don't think United will finish in the top four because I think it's an average United side. Will we finish above them? I think we've got every chance at the moment. It's a flick of a coin. 4 points is nothing. It's one reversal and a point. So to me, I agree that we haven't got vintage sides, but the way I'm looking at it can get better. I'm not so sure United can get better than where they are at the moment.
Yeah, I think there was 3 man of the matches there. I think Torreira, David Luiz and Mesut Ozil for the first 60, 70 minutes. They were quality. They were the best 3 on the pitch at that time, I thought.
I just want to answer this to Gaddafi, right? So Sonny's opinion means more than Sky Sports now. Come on, man. Don't be deluded. I'll tell you what, Gaddafi, yeah? I've been watching Arsenal for 45 years, bruv, right? Okay? I'm better placed to talk about Arsenal than anybody on Sky Sports. So good night.
Now, what I will say about I don't know what Man United's philosophy is. It seems like they're going for more of a counter-attack football, but Arsenal want possession football again. They're working hard. They're pressing. They're working in threes. He's taking it back to basics. In the little training videos that I've seen, he's talking about passing the way you're facing. Even one of them, Lacazette, talks about, can I do flicks? It's like, no flicks. And it's about discipline with our team. It's about discipline with Arteta. Something we missed in the latter stages of with Arsene Wenger. They said Arsene Wenger was soft. He gave too much responsibility on the players. But then you can't blame that when the players, when he gets there, he's got Adams and players like that who are marshalling, who are giving that discipline to the team. And then you carry that on with players that carry that on, like Henry, Patrick Vieira. Once they left, it's no surprise that the discipline started to go at Arsenal. And you hear stories about when Campbell came back and he saw how players were acting around the squad, and he was shocked. Same with Lehmann, they were shocked. So the discipline started to go. So Arteta knows that the one thing that Arsenal need is discipline. And you got that from working with Pep. He gets that discipline, he brings that to Arsenal, and I think that will be the main thing that pushes us forward. As long as you can keep that consistency and you keep that consistent with discipline, then you'll be able to carry on the performance that we're doing now.
That's why I think Koulibaly.
I just want to address this idiot in the comments, yeah? All right? I'll even give you time to read out your stupid comment, bruv, right? Sonny, you pleb, right? Okay. I was looking for you after the United game. Ozil whipped it, and you didn't want to live stream anymore. Listen to you pleb, right? Okay. Listen to you pleb, right? My channel is for the fans. Okay, it's not about me. So if there were 600 fans who wanted to get on and do the podcast, they've got the opportunity to do it. They've got the platform to do it. Okay. This is not the Mesut Ozil channel, right? So when Mesut Ozil fucks off, right, go fuck off with him. All right, or better still, just come out of the channel altogether. Right? See ya.
Just getting back to Kieran. Do you know what, Kieran? You're right. I can see it. It's just hit me. Like Henry D said, you're going to win the league. Of course you're going to win the league. You're Arsenal.
Of course, mate.
Mate, listen, Simon, getting back to you. When you tell me you don't see the quality in the Man United team, your best players, probably Aubameyang. He's 29, going to be 30. Our best player is Marcus Rashford. He's 22. I see our future. Our right back's better than yours by a country mile. He's 21. He's only going to get better. He's a brick wall. I can name every single player that hasn't got passing this season. Sterling did nothing against him. Mane did nothing against him. Son did nothing against him. Aubameyang did nothing against him. I've just named some of the best players in the league, got top goal scorers in the league last season. So that's another one to be happy about. 21, Rashford 22, McTominay. He's going to be a top player for us in the future. I know what we're building on. What are you guys building on? What are you guys building on?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm a friendly guy. Sonny will tell you. And that's the greatest respect to you, mate, pundit. Whatever your name is, your real name is. All I'm seeing is bitter hate.
Why would I? Mate, I've got nothing to hate. You're fine. You know your temp, right? You know your temp.
It's pure hate.
You do know your temp, right? You know your temp. You know you will certainly.
We're having a football discussion, mate.
You do also know that Ryan Giggs won as many leagues as your club's history.
How are you talking about Ryan Giggs? How are you talking about Ryan Giggs?
You haven't won the league for 16 years. It's only been
you never won the title. Man United never won a title for 25 years. 16
years.
Man
United never
if I'm going to look at it,
I'd rather be where we are. I'd rather be where we are than where you are. We also have 3 Champions Leagues. You don't even know what European.
Are you talking about Champions Leagues? Are you talking about Champions Leagues? You sound like a Liverpool fan.
There's only so much that I can listen to be honest with you. But basically, the guy doesn't want to have a football debate. He wants to talk shit. So let's just carry on with the podcast. Simon, go on, mate.
Thing is, as well, he turns around and he says that he'd rather be where he is, and I think, well, fucking Manchester's a shithole. I'd rather be.
You know what? If we're going to have a football discussion, we'll have a football discussion. I'm not going to go through Ryan Giggs and bloody Penelope Pickford and whoever.
It's just too much hate.
What we say, and you can only look forward. Yeah, well, you can go back and start talking about the 30s with Arsenal or the Invincibles. It's irrelevant now. It's history, so we can only look forward. Yeah, and that's where we're at. To me, I think United, most United fans I speak to, and I'm living in an area where there's a lot of United fans, they'll all say that they've got a pretty average side at the moment. Yeah, all the realistic ones. They know it's not a golden side. They think it's an average side, and they're probably going to finish roughly where we are, somewhere in the league like that. For us, who knows? I don't think we'll bring anyone in January. Maybe a loan or something like that. But I don't think we'll be spending too much money. But no. I think they've got a free. To me now, as I said earlier, you got a free run just to see where you end up at the end of the season. Just go for everything and see what happens.
You know what? I mean, personally, I think Arsenal getting top 4 is a big ask, right? Especially they're 9 points behind Chelsea, so it's a big ask. Even though Chelsea are inconsistent,
there's one spot available.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that Arsenal are going to go on this mega run from basically standing start. You know, we've got to be realistic. I think we are going to finish above Man U, but that doesn't define our season at all. That means nothing to us.
But what 3-4 weeks ago, I think. I mean, I was talking about. I don't even think we're going to get top 6. Now we're talking about hopefully trying to push for top 4. So, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it's realistic. But like Simon was saying, there's no pressure on us. So that pressure is not a thing that should worry us at the moment. I don't think we're going to buy in January. We never do. I don't think people should get too excited about any of these names that keep coming out. Like, we need to start being real on these newspaper articles, because they're just there to sell papers. So don't get too excited on that. Umtiti might have been in the stadium the other day, but again, let's not start touching wood for that, mate, because when do we ever go out and buy top players in January? Aubameyang, Arshavin, they're few and far between. So don't hold your breath on that. Wait for the summer.
Gaddafi, would you accept no European football next season and when you challenge for a league or not? You know what? To be honest with you, European football for Arsenal last 2-3 years hasn't affected us. I'll tell you why. They're always playing the second string in it anyway. Yeah. So most of the first team players are only getting 1 game a week. When you're top side, you can play 2 games a week. You know,
100%.
If they're in the Champions League, they won't be playing the second string in the Champions League. All this hasn't done us no favours, rest of them. Johnny, Arsenal fans have changed the bar of our expectations now, which I think is a big accolade to Mikel Arteta. Obviously, within a space of 2 weeks, I think it's changed the whole mentality of the club and the fans, right? Which you can't ask for bigger praise than that.
No.
Are we going too over the top though? Are we setting ourselves up to fail by everyone going over the top the next minute? A defeat is around the corner. It always is. We're not trying Barcelona, are we?
Well, I'd like to think all of us. I know Sonny, you guys, Simon, yourself, Kieran. We've all got a level head. We know the fans on social media go overboard anyway. Look at your friend that was on here, Man United fan. He done the same. He was going overboard about the team.
Typical young fan.
Yeah, that's my not being horrible to the guy, and that's the thing. We do go overboard, but I do understand the situation with Arsenal fans at the moment because we were so poor and we were so bad. This is quite a dramatic change in 2 or 3 games. So I think it's even surprised the likes of yourself, Sonny, the likes of yourself, Simon, Kieran, and Melvin, the older supporters. I bet they're thinking, bloody hell, 2 or 3 games, he's got them playing here. So that I understand the level of excitement because it's the 2 games that Mikel Arteta has properly had weren't easy. They've had Chelsea and Man United, and we played well in both of them games. So I understand, but I do understand as well what you say, Sonny. We do get excited, but on this level, I understand it because the 2 games and we've been so poor, it's cheered everyone up. Everyone's a family again all of a sudden.
Corey,
Yeah, man.
you going to say something, bro? I'm watching you sleeping, bro. It's making me tired.
No, man, I'm just listening to all you guys. Sorry, man. I'm a bit shy. I do apologise. My first time on the podcast.
All due respect, bro, right? I love you. If you want to listen, don't come on the podcast. You're here to talk.
Yeah, all right, in regard to what Kieran says earlier about obviously Sol Campbell and obviously back in the day, which it's not really that too far away, really think about it, but that's why we need someone like a Koulibaly. I'm not saying we're going to get anyone like that in January. No one in maybe even the summer.
We're not signing in January, mate. Don't expect any signings in January. We're not signing anyone.
Well, the only thing I can see working out possibly is only a loan signing, but I don't know who the hell it would be. That's the problem.
If I'm right, I might be wrong, Simon. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Is it because we've already got a loan signing? We can't get another one.
That I don't know, but I just think they spent that much money in the summer. I don't think obviously they spent money in the summer expecting we were going to be doing a lot better throughout the season. So I don't think they ever had anything in their plan to say that we would sign again. I mean, all right, Chambers is injured, but you can argue that Holding's virtually back now. And when he was in the team sort of before Christmas last year, the year before now, he was a regular playing. So what's to say that he can't come back in? And then you've still got Luiz, Socrates. So we've got 3 centre halves there straight off without even worrying. I just don't see us spending any money. We're linked with Boateng today. Well, he's going to want 200,000 a week. He's 31. His best days are probably behind him. Why would we sign somebody like that? I just don't understand it.
I tweeted today. If we get Boateng, right? Obviously, because we want to be like Bayern Munich, we might go and get Karl-Heinz Rummenigge as well and speak up front for Bamian.
What I will say to Coben, I feel like we need to move away from these obvious names when people say, "Oh, we want a centre back," and people say Koulibaly, people say Umtiti. Like that wasn't ever Arsenal, man. We wasn't. We used to find the player to make him world class, and then all of a sudden we were impatient because we didn't want to wait a couple of seasons for them to be that player. Now we want to buy these players that are already made that are going to cost us upwards of €100 million euros. It's not realistic, and we need to take our expectations down from that. We need to stop looking at FIFA, stop looking at Football Manager and thinking that they're the names we're going to sign because it's not. It's not. Just because you don't know the player doesn't mean he's shit.
Yeah, true.
Very true.
Excellent point, Kieran, right? Based on that, right? Everyone in the podcast, also everyone in the comments, please join in on this, right? Seeing Arsenal players have raised their level so significantly, yeah. Who are we going to keep and who are we going to sell, yeah? All right. Let's go for the players in question. We're not going to go through the whole squad because it'll take us ages. Yeah?
Son, I need to get a charger quickly. Sorry, mate.
Simon, Granit Xhaka, we keep saying.
I would say based on his performance in his side keeping, he signed a contract. Obviously, every player has a price. So if somebody comes in with some stupid price, which is not going to happen, you'd say sell. So to me, I can't see him leaving.
Right, let's make this easier and shorter, right? Let's make this easier and shorter. Out of our whole squad, right, and everyone in the comments as well, right? Who would you upgrade? It would be an easier question. Because obviously, there's no point saying we want to upgrade the whole squad. It's not going to happen, yeah. So you got four players to upgrade.
You've got two players currently out on loan, two midfielders out on loan. You've got Mkhitaryan and El Neni, yeah. If either of those got sold, yeah, nobody's going to shed any tears and stuff like that. Mustafi is obviously not going to get offered another contract. The one for me is a bit of an iffy one. I don't know. Is Bellerin? Yeah, he doesn't appear to be anything like the player that he was before he got injured the year before last. Now, there's got to be a little bit of a question mark there, I think. So there's my four: El Neni, Mkhitaryan, Mustafi, possibly Bellerin.
But on top of that, has Chambers played his last game now? Because the kid is unlucky. I must admit, he's unlucky. I don't think he's Arsenal quality, but he's unlucky. Every time he's tried to hold down the first team spot, he's either been loaned out or he's got injured. Would you sell him or would you keep him?
But is every player you have at Arsenal a first team player? Didn't you have squad players as well? And you need to have squad.
They're all first team players, really, aren't they?
Yeah, but you need to have what? So you wouldn't have Chambers as a third choice or full choice defender.
To be honest with you, I don't rate any of our centre backs as a decent. Yeah. So I put them all the same level. I don't think any of them are any good. You know, 3 games has not changed my mind on that.
No, but I didn't think. I thought Chambers was a decent defender anyway. I just think he's not. I mean, under Wenger, he didn't have as much time. He looked good when he came in. High expectations. Got in the England squad. Too much pressure on him. Went out on loan again. Got player of the season for both clubs he went at. So he's obviously a player in there. Come back, done all right, got injured. So I wouldn't upgrade. I wouldn't change him. I'd have him as a squad player. I'd change, like before the other day, Papa. He's a throw your body on the line kind of defender, but I think we could do better than that. I think Simon took the easy route with Mkhitaryan and El Nene, so I'll have them as well.
You just turned down 10 million bids for Mkhitaryan.
How much?
10 million.
10. But isn't he smashing it for Roma?
They want more money.
Yeah, he's doing bits for Roma though, isn't he?
Don't know. He might have learned how to make pizza, I don't know.
Is he scoring goals? If he's doing that, fucking hell. But
what's the fair price for it? What's the fair price for Mkhitaryan? What do we think?
I'd say about 13 million.
15.
You know,
30.
13.
I don't. Oh, 13. Right. Yeah.
I mean,
we could again for Arsenal.
No, but we can't be poo-pooing millions. That like to us, it doesn't seem like it's much, but to a shareholder, 3 million, 4 million, that's money. To be honest, I think you've got Lacazette or Aubameyang, yeah, but Aubameyang ain't signing. So for me, you take out Aubameyang and get in a young player who's going to be there for a bit of longevity and quality, because Aubameyang's not going to sign a contract.
Kieran, if I could have, to me, obviously Aubameyang's 30 years old now, and let's be honest, he is our best striker that we've got. But for me, it's a no fucking brainer. We should do everything in the summer to get hold of Victor Osimhen. That guy is an absolute fucking lethal player for Lille. You know, he's only 21 years old.
Is he smashing goals? Yeah.
Well, I think he scored about 11 or 12 goals, and I mean that's already. I mean, I know obviously Pepe came from there as well, but the thing is he's 21 years old. Uber's 30 years old. We could probably get about 65 million for Uber and spend 27 million for Osimhen for the next 10 years.
I think with Aubameyang, you've got to be smart. If he's not looking to sign a contract, you've got to get as much money you can from him in the summer. Don't hold on to it. Don't try and hold on to the last minute. Get him out of the way and get your player that you've got to come in. It seems fucking mad because he's our top goal scorer and he's saved us for the last however many seasons. And Lacazette ain't exactly doing bits at the moment, but one's got 2 years, one's got just over a year on his contract. It was 18 months on his contract.
Johnny, how about you, bro?
Safe option again. Simon, the first three come to mind: Mustafi, El Nani, Mkhitaryan. They've got to go. They're not Arsenal players, and if you want to challenge for the title, they're not good enough.
Who in our current first team are Arsenal players? Who ain't? Should I say? Who ain't?
Do you know what, mate? I feel like a bastard saying it, but I'm not sure about hardly any of them, apart from...
Thank you very much. Please don't tell me Ainsley Maitland-Niles is a right back, right?
No, he's not a right back. He's not a right back. He's not a central midfielder.
Don't tell me Joe Willock is good enough to play for Arsenal. I'm sorry, he's young, but he ain't.
I didn't even think about Joe Willock.
Right, he ain't.
Granit Xhaka is definitely not going. Arteta said that last night. I saw him say it. He said to the crowd, he's not going. There is only one player that you lot will probably murder me about. If you can get him playing, and that's a big fucking if, and you can build your team around him, what Arteta said is Mesut Ozil.
But can you build a... You know, Ozil has been class the last 3 games, and I'm not an Ozil hater. I mean, someone without technical ability, best technical ability we've had since Bergkamp, right? But you can't build a team around a 30-year-old. That's facts. And also, Guendouzi, I don't think he's an Arsenal player.
No, I think Guendouzi needs time. I think everyone's massively overrated him. I think he's a good player, but I think people talking about him as captain and as starting a first team week in, week out is madness. He's a player that should be on rotation at his age.
Sorry?
Hey.
I'll tell you something else I'm going for as well. I mean, I think everyone's mentioned him before. If I had my choice, these are the 4 players that I would get rid of at Arsenal. There's Ozil, there's Xhaka, there's Uber, there's Laka, and Mustafi as well. And then you bring in, obviously, it's going to sound daft now, but in the summer, Upamecano, Ndidi, Doucouré, and Osimhen. And I've got a feeling those 4 signings could revitalise this team more. There's youth there. There's obviously there's hunger there. Obviously, you've got some French players as well in Doucouré and Upamecano. And then same as Simon said as well, I'd get rid of El Neni and Mkhitaryan as well. But it's who would you replace them with? Because I reckon we need at least 2 or 3 more centre-backs, a right-back, a centre midfielder and another striker. And possibly a backup goalkeeper.
I know it's early doors, but we've got, and I hope he's not going to be an injury-prone, but next season we can look forward to Kieran Tierney, I hope.
Yeah.
And he does look a good prospect.
Mm-hmm.
Martinelli looks a very good prospect as well.
Yeah.
So we've got something to build on as a squad, but there's a lot of work to be done. The only thing I will say is if you're fighting to stay up and score goals, I agree with you, Kieran, what you said about. But I'm a big Aubameyang fan, and
so am I.
And I think at 34, 33, he'll still score goals.
But
Lacazette, I don't think he does it, mate. I don't think Lacazette. He's too.
And the thing is, for me, I've always thought since probably about last season that you've got to sell one of them, yeah. And for me, it had to be Lacazette. But Aubameyang's not signing for us. He wants to play Champions League. We ain't getting Champions League this season.
I don't agree, Kieran, to be honest with you.
What you think he's going to sign for us?
I think he may stay. I don't think
with the clubs that are coming after him.
I don't think Real Madrid put money on the table. They spent too much money.
Real Madrid aren't putting the money on the table. If they wanted him, they would have taken him when he was at Dortmund because he was basically sitting outside their front door begging to play for them. I
think it depends on the Europa. If we win the Europa, that's our entrance to the Champions League.
If we get Champions League next season, Aubameyang will stay. But if we don't, I can't see him staying.
Personally, I wouldn't sell Laka either because he brings something to the team which he makes them tick. He's the one who presses the most from the front, especially against United. He showed what he could do. Simon, what do you do to improve the team?
So there's 2 players that I look at in the Premier League at the moment. They're both players sort of midfield or attacking midfielders Yeah, I would love one or both of these players, but I just can't see it being financially viable. Would be either Maddison or
Cool,
Ndidi,
yeah.
both at Leicester. I'll
Yeah.
throw another name as well.
I like
That's
Maddison.
Grealish at Villa.
Um,
Yeah, tricky player, awkward, makes things happen and stuff like that.
Where do you
But
play
all
him,
of
though?
those- All of those players are going to be £60 million, something like that. I don't see a sort of. I just think, and I said it last time, what we've got now is what we've got until the end of the season. I don't think anyone's coming in, so I just think we make do with what we've got. We put a good run in, and then you've just got to reassess where we are in the summer and see how much money we've got. There'll be some dead wood that's going to go. People are not going to get offered new contract. Ozil's not going to get offered a new contract. He's going to have a year left in the summer. There's every possibility he could go. If he doesn't, he's just going to go for nothing the year after. Mustafi, the same thing. And the names we've all mentioned, none of them are going to get offered new contracts.
Can I just say something? Sorry, Johnny, I'll let you come back in a second. Can I just say something controversial, right? And let me know what your thoughts on it, Johnny, before you make your point, yeah?
Of course.
Right. If Arteta does really well, right, and these players step up and they're going to play to a level that we expect as an Arsenal footballer, which they haven't done since they've been here, let's be honest, yeah?
Mhm.
Right? Which should be a given. It should be the basic, yeah? Right? Stan Kroenke and Fat Raul, right? It's going to work to Arsenal's detriment because they won't go out and get rid of all this shit with Dan Tools all this time, right? Because basically, running through the pain barrier should be a bare minimum. You know, staying in your shape should be a bare minimum. You know, they've been playing football since they were 8 years old. They should be able to take instructions, even if it was in half Spanish, half English, half Japanese. You know. I would not give none of them a pass. They've got this season to prove their contract, right, and play out the skin. And unless they get top four, which was Raul's remit to get top four, right, last season, never mind this season, I'll bin the whole lot of them. Johnny?
One we keep getting connected with, and his name keeps coming up, whether it's this season or next year. Would any of you guys take Lamar? Would you have him? Because
Yeah, I would.
his name's come up again. I know Sonny and like the others say we won't, so we probably won't. But they're talking about online signing, and now it's the third or fourth time it was like David Luiz, third or fourth time his name's come up now. Would he fit in well at Arsenal?
Yes.
Think, guys?
Yes, he would. Thomas Lamar's a quality player.
You don't become a bad player overnight. You're just playing in a very defensive team that don't suit your style.
Exactly. Look. João Felix was an absolute superstar, and I'm sure he's going to be a very good player. But he's not the same exciting player that he is at Atletico Madrid that you would have expected. And I think that, like Sonny just said, he's playing in a very defensive team at Atletico Madrid. Thomas Lemar was the one player I knew about at Monaco before I knew about Mbappe, because he was the player that's coming in through the ranks and was ripping it up week in, week out. So
Nitesh, bruv, if we sold Aubameyang and Laka and we got Danny Ings, I would not only burn my season ticket, I'd go back and collect it anyway.
I'll take Richarlison though. Sonny, can I just a comment that I saw earlier on, it said from Audio Football Text Vision, yeah? He said, Kieran, I want to believe in you, but you were not Arteta, but were you not Arteta out on AFTV? What's changed your mind? I'd just like to say, just because I play for the football team, my words are my words. Nothing that AFTV say, I'm associated with. Yeah, so don't tar me with the same brush that you hear some people on AFTV. Because part of the reason why I come and do this now is because I don't agree with some of the comments on AFTV. So I want to put my point across myself. Yeah,
which is the whole reason I stopped going on there and I'll take this channel.
Yeah. So what I want to say is I've never been Arteta out. Like Terry, I was more than excited about Arteta coming in when all the names were going about. When Allegri was going about, for me, Arteta was the one that was exciting me the most. Don't even ask me why. I just wanted that guy in. So I've never been Arteta out. And even when Emery came in, I didn't fancy Emery. I was never Emery out. I'm not like that, yeah? So my mind hasn't changed. So Matt, you want to check me out? Check out my...
Matt Howard, I see you down here, English, yeah? All right, I see you down here, all right?
Why'd you get these?
He's blocked again. He's blocked again.
They're just
But you know what? That's the second time he said that to me, right? The first time I let it slide. The second time I was sitting down the Emirates, wherever he wants.
See, I'm not going to lie. I ain't going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say I was Arteta in. I'm not going to lie. I was Arteta out from day one. That's how my mind was working. But
why?
I was just very, very concerned because obviously he hadn't managed anyone in his career. That's why I was. That's the only reason. There was no gripe. There was no nothing else. I was just very, very concerned.
But what I do say, Coben, yeah, what I do say,
he's proven himself. I know it's only been 3 games, but he has proven himself so much. So I'm going to give him a chance. I think everybody should give him a chance.
Okay, but what I say, yeah, is for me that's crazy, yeah, because if you're already on an Arteta out sort of mindset, then even if it goes well, you're waiting for something to go wrong. And that's the problem, yeah. That is the reason. That's the reason why I was so with Arteta, because he said about the culture. He said about the players changing the culture, and once that changes, the fans have to change the culture. We can't be that quick switch of emotions where it says you're out one game, you're in the next game. We can't do that. We should never be. If we don't agree that a manager's coming in that we don't like, we shouldn't be get him out, because then there's always going to be a split. No one is ever going to agree, but you have to give people a chance, man.
I just thought I'd be honest though, man. I didn't want to sit here and pretend. Oh yeah, I was Arteta. Sonny knows and Terry knows that I was very, very, very scared when he was appointed. But when I seen his press conference, that's when something clicked in my head, like you were saying about the culture, about the desire, about the passion. That's when I realised that this guy is definitely something special. And he does remind me actually a little bit of Graham, to be fair. He seems very focused already at such an early stage. And at the same time, it looks like the players are on board with him as well. And that is why now I'm giving him the chance. I'm not waiting for him to fail, because obviously I'm hoping he doesn't fail. But at the same time, of course, I'm pretty sure all of us are concerned that there's that tiny bit of element of doubt, because we're worried, obviously, with how our season's gone and whatever. At the same time, we want success, and that's all we can ask for.
Thing is, well, Kieran's ethos on it all is spot on. It's like me. Arteta wasn't my first choice, but he went there. I'm behind him 100% away. You have to support your club's manager.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who goes in there. He is now your man to try and help you and your club.
Yeah. You
have to support these people, not you personally, but people that advertise. When they were seeing on social media Arteta out, to me, you ain't fans. You're just fickle. I didn't take part in that, man.
But I didn't take part in that.
Go on.
How many new managers on their first job have you been that impressed with what they've said in the first 2 or 3 weeks in the job? The bloke looks like he's been doing it for 15 years. He came in, he had a game plan on day one. He's been totally transparent. And it looks like he's got straight into the players' heads, and they've bought into his philosophy. Now, time will tell, but I can't remember anyone being that impressive in the first 2 or 3 weeks of management.
Because he laid it on the line. He said, if you are not in my philosophy, if you are not with it, you're out. Simple as. And people want that structure. People want that discipline. They want that structure, because they don't want to put in the effort and see Joe Bloggs down the road not doing the same thing.
I'm pretty sure that when Emery got appointed, the club said that he had a massive dossier on every single player at the club, and he'd identified ways to improve every single within that team, what he'd seen. Now, obviously, that didn't happen, and something's gone totally wrong. Now, whether or not he was just managing in the wrong, he's obviously won stuff in the past. He's not a total mug, is he? But the Premier League clearly wasn't for him. And at some stage, the players at Arsenal, and wrongly you would have to say, have sent me down to, well, this is not for us. Let's just carry on as we are, and he'll get the boot. And that's what happened.
You know what, Kieran, just before you make your point, bro, sorry to
that's all
right. Speaking about the Arsenal players, Danny Tools, right? You can't have a player kicking his gloves, right? Sanchez done that, but at least with Sanchez was a winner, so we allowed him, right? You know, Ozil shouldn't have been allowed to do that when he ain't done nothing. When he ain't done nothing for years, you know. Granit Xhaka telling the fans to F off, should never be playing for the club again, right? The thing is, I said it the other day. Mikel Arteta's press conference when he first came in, right? If anyone was doubting Mikel Arteta, there's a few speeches in my lifetime was had an impact with me, right? One of them was Winston Churchill, right? Weren't really in my lifetime, but
You're that old.
Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King, right? Rocky Balboa in Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Wrong with my son. Because that's what Quinn's doing, it ain't you.
If I could change, you could change. We can all change.
I know that off my heart, Sonny.
And Mikel Arteta, Terry Davis, I'm a gooner, said it gave him goose pimples. Terry Davis hasn't had goose pimples since he lost his virginity.
No, but one thing I will say about them people that are openly out there saying Arteta out, yeah, they're doing it to distance themselves from this what could potentially be a failure, yeah. So they're saying I'm Arteta out. If it goes well, they silently jump on the wagon. Yeah, we're winning. If it doesn't, it was tell you what, you saw I was Arteta out from day one. Do you know what I mean? And that's what people do. That's why they do it.
Cowards, mugs.
Cowards, mate. They're cowards.
Like I said, the thing is, I never joined that bandwagon on Twitter or whatever platform, whatever. I didn't join the Arteta out. I was just saying it in my head because I was just so terrified. Like when he was going to possibly get the job 2 years ago, when he was going to try
change the culture, Coburn. We've got to change the culture, mate. And the culture comes from the new boys. Us old boys need to change the culture of you new boys. We let you slide for too long. It's now our time to get you in check. You know what I'm saying? We do. We let them be quiet. We let them run all the fucking fan pages and all that. Now we're on here to get him in line and crack the whip.
Kieran,
you're walking on my heart here, mate.
One comeback on that. I've always had a problem with fans like Johnny and fans like Simon, right? Because obviously they're back managers to the hilt, right? For whatever reason, right? But I'd rather have a fan like Johnny and Simon than the new age fan who support players, not the club, right? Because the Arsenal fans nowadays, they support players. They don't support the football club, they support players, right? So give me a fan like Johnny and Simon who would die for the club any day over the new age fans.
But,
Thank you,
but on top of that, Sonny, yeah, you did say one thing a couple of minutes ago about Sanchez, where you said you let him get away with that because he put in the effort. We should never have let him get away with that because once he knew he could get away with that, he took the piss with it. He took the piss and he started play acting every opportunity he can get to make it known that he wasn't happy with a performance. I'm not happy with the performance. Look what they've done. Oh, yeah, head down, walk off. Oh, Sanchez, you're the man. Fuck Sanchez. And that's what pissed me off.
Kieran, on the comeback with that, right? One, Sanchez, right? We're not going to have a Sanchez debate anyway because he's got his
Cool.
We're not going to have, but Sanchez was the only man who since Henry and Bergkamp, you'd pay to get you off your seat, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Not a bad man, not Ozil, none of them. Sanchez was that man, right?
It was exciting.
And when Laurent Koscielny supposedly got Sanchez by the throat in the dressing room, and then Laurent Koscielny left how he did, someone should have got Koscielny by the throat because there was everything wrong with Arsenal culture. And there's another one who's gone. Just want to read that suture. NFC Aaron, Liverpool fan, I think this is very happy. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to yourself, Aaron. And you know what? Enjoy it, mate.
Happy New Year, Aaron.
Enjoy it. You don't deserve it. Sorry, go on, mate.
What, talking about Liverpool?
No. just talking about the culture and how we're going to change it. And also the Cronkies. If the Cronkies don't back us in January, which sounds like they will, right? And come the summer, they're going to do a typical Arsenal. They're going to sell a big name and just replace with an up and coming on mega high wages, right? I asked this question to Johnny the other day, right? What are we still doing there as fans, you know?
Well, you're still going to be there because you're a fan, aren't you? So you're like me. You're not going to change your allegiance at this stage. So to me, again, I don't know what's going to happen in the summer. I think a lot of that depends on where we finish, how we carry on playing for the rest of this season. if somehow we can get into a European competition, it sort of helps us a little bit. Obviously, you want to get in the Champions League, but if you get in the Europa, at least you're in Europe, which is a plus. I think we'll sign players in the summer, and I think players will go. But I don't think that's any different from seasons that have gone by or what will happen in the future. It's just a natural turnover at football clubs. It's very seldom that clubs don't sign anybody. I mean, I think Spurs was it the year before last, they didn't sign anyone. There was big talk about it, but generally there'll be 2 or 3 players coming in and 2 or 3 going out. So, but as I said right at the start, I'm just taking one game at a time. I'm going to see if this new improved style carries on, and then we reassess again after the next game and the next game and the next game. That's all you can do at the moment, as far as I'm concerned.
Terry's saying, bloody hell, guys, is Emery still our manager? Where's the optimistic excitement? We've got one of the best managers in the Premier League.
Terry's crazy, though. Terry's crazy about Arteta.
Terry, seriously, mate. Seriously. Right, this is our football club. We've been down this road before, right? Let's be real. Don't fall down the trap of being the polar opposite to Simon, undefeated, right? Who wanted Arteta before he even got here, to being that disillusional bloke who goes around the shopping centres with a microphone, spouting bullshit, right? We need a bit. Let's be realistic as well. Arteta has changed opinion. Is not the second coming, so he needs to prove himself. And based after one game, we need to get a bit of realism back, and we still need to keep pressure on this bloody board. It's all on the board now, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Just to drop this in as well, it's always nice being Man United, though. Anyway, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, let's get it right. Change the subject. It is fucking lovely beating Manchester United.
Well, we've got beat United or Spurs. United or Spurs is our season, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I call Man United the divine writers because they always are, aren't they? Their fans think that the title should be theirs every single year, and
Pete started talking about fucking Ryan Giggs.
Well, that's what they are. Man United fans are the divine writers. I'll tell you, the majority of them, they're fickle. They're terrible. They think it's their divine right to win. And I'll be honest, as much as I'm going to say it now, I can't wait for Liverpool to lift that trophy and look at them Man United fans because they're going to be sick as pigs. Absolutely sick as pigs.
Zaki, bro, I don't know how old you are, bro. I totally disagree with you, mate. The board didn't respect Koscielny's decision to quit the team. When he wanted to leave in the summer, I can understand his point of view. I can't, mate. When you're under contract, bruv. Right? It's like a marriage, for better or for worse. Right? He was getting £100,000 a week for years. He was injury prone. We looked after him in his injury. We paid him his wages. And when you're a captain of Arsenal Football Club, you've got a responsibility, right? Laurent Koscielny in Arsenal should not be even mentioned in the same breath anymore. He's just as bad as Eddie Boyle and the rest of the shit what's left. So I don't understand his point at all. Sorry.
And I think what's funny as well is, how that obviously you guys seen how he was unveiled at Bordeaux. I mean, talk about.
You're talking to the hand at the moment.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I just couldn't see you.
Yeah, I was just saying that obviously Koscielny, the way that he went to Bordeaux in the summer was absolutely fucking disgusting. The whole unveiling where he was, talk about a cheap B production. It's like just wearing one of our shirts, take it off, and then all of a sudden unveils the Bordeaux shirt. I thought that was absolutely, completely disrespectful. But fuck him, he's gone now. So
it doesn't matter, does it? He's gone. We move on. That's for his, not ours, is it? That's for attention for him. Yeah. So as an ex-captain of Arsenal, that's one thing. Yeah. Well, all he's done is blotted his copybook a bit, but he's gone now. So just move on. He's a player that when we sit down and write your top 100 players for Arsenal when you're about to knock on God's door, he's not going to be one of them, is he?
One of them. I'd rather eat the pen, Simon. I'd rather eat the pen. Just before you make your point, Johnny, I just want to read out the super chat. LFC fan, but love you, honestly, Sonny. No feel, always respectful. Arsenal Football Club. Thanks, mate. Arsenal have always tried to do things with a bit of class, right? And we've lost that. Hopefully, we gain it back again. Go on, Johnny.
Sorry, Paul Ayres, he commented about 10 minutes ago and he said, give us a shout out and can I tell him where Arsenal finish in the league? Yes, I can, Paul. I think Arsenal will win the title because we're the best fucking club in the world. So, yeah.
Well, back on what Sonny was saying about class, I totally agree. I feel like Arsenal did our things in our own way, yeah, and we were a classy club, but we massively lost that. And I think the biggest step we've done in years in getting that class back was getting Arteta. It was a risky move, but down to his speech, down to the things that he said, the ethos of the club that he wants to change from top to bottom, that was the right direction. And if you can get other people thinking on that mentality, then I think we'll go very far.
Well said.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Well said.
Basically, mate, I shouldn't even bother with you the time. One thing I don't do, bruv, I'm old school. I don't go for the police, yeah? So bear that in mind, okay? Just the last point. We're gonna finish shortly. My dog wants to go out as well, so we are gonna finish. The FA Cup. The FA Cup. Does it mean anything to you?
Yes.
Yeah. This season for me, it does. We've got nothing else to play for. But on the whole, does it mean anything to you? Answer that while I let the dog out.
Yeah, me personally, I think we disrespected the FA Cup for many years because we won it, and when we won it, people were saying things like "fuck the FA Cup" and this and that. Yet for years we were calling out for top four. Is it good enough? We need to win trophies. We got top four in the trophy, and then we're saying the FA Cup wasn't good enough. But for me, winning trophies is what we want to do. There's only four that we can go for, and there's in them four. There's about 150, 200 teams. So we win one of them, I'm happy.
We're gonna finish. I'll get the rest of you to answer that in a minute. Moderators, please. If you moderators, can you please do your job, or don't be moderators. Either way, I'm not fussed. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, again, I'm old school. I like the FA Cup. It doesn't change to me personally. I like to win the FA Cup. And also, what is interesting about this is that Arteta's ethos, if it's the same as what is Pep sitting on the bench, they go for everything. Will he go to Arsenal and carry the same sort of, picture in his head? Well, like do you know where Man City go for the Carling Cup? They go for these and they take them more serious. Will Arteta do that with Arsenal? And I really hope he does.
I think he will.
I hope he does.
I actually think he will as well, yeah.
We're going to finish now. For the person in the comments just now who decided to call themselves Matt Howes Returns, stupid thing to call yourself if you wasn't Matt Howes, because you've just been blocked again, so it's a bit stupid. That's us done. Thanks for excellent podcast. Obviously, unofficial pundit is a friend of mine, but this platform is for having football discussion. It's not phone around. It's not phone around banter. I want to keep this channel about football, and I want to keep it serious, and I want to keep it to a certain mentality, and I'm not going to go beyond that. Say for the people in the comments, if you don't respect the values of the channel, see you later. You're not missed. Just want to say thank you to Kieran for joining us. Kieran, shout out your channel, bro.
Check out my YouTube channel. It's KS1. My Instagram is my tag here, Kieran Stewart, and my Twitter is Kieran at AFTVFC.
Simon, thanks for joining. If you want to shout out your Twitter,
Pleasure as always.
Do you want to shout out your Twitter? And that's Corey, thanks for joining, bruv. It's been nice watching you sleep. No, really. Thanks for contributing, Corey.
Cheers, bro. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
It's always great to have new people on. And that's Corey's Twitter down there. And obviously, Johnny likes to remain anonymous, so I'm not going to give you his.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want to catch up with my modelling career, which obviously I do on the channel quite often, feel free. Or if you need prices at stuff for Tesco's, you'll always get it off me, son.
Flo, thanks for your super chat, bruv. Sonny, give us a one-liner, mate. All right, I'll give you one-liner, yeah? If you're going to come at me and be a prick, you best have protection, because I don't need none, yeah?
Boom!
That's us out, and all the haters get in the bin. Later on, George, for another one, pre-Leeds, isn't it? It's going to be.
Yeah.
When are we playing? Saturday. What's day today? Friday. We're playing-
Monday.
Monday, play Monday, Leeds.
We'll probably do we'll do something over the weekend at some stage. Anyway, take care, everyone. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share.
Smash the like button.
And subscribe to on the YouTube channel, KS1. We're out of here. Take care.
Peace
See you
out.
later, guys.